You crack out of your egg and you are naked. Not just featherless, you have no down, no fluff, nothing. Your skin is thin enough that you can see your own organs through it, if the light hits right. Your eyes are sealed shut. You weigh less than a single sheet of paper, and you are right now one of the most helpless creatures on the entire planet. You don't know that. You don't know anything yet. All you know is that you're cold, and then suddenly you're not, because something enormous and warm has settled over you and your 3 siblings, and that warmth is the only reason any of you are still alive 20 minutes from now. That's your mother. She built this nest 4 days ago out of grass, mud, and twigs, layering it with a cup of mud in the middle that she carried to this branch one beakful at a time, sometimes flying more than 60 trips a day to gather it all. She lined the inside with soft grass so your paper-thin skin wouldn't tear against sticks. She did all of this before you existed. She will not remember doing it for you specifically. She just does it. Every year. Again. You open your mouth because you feel a vibration on the branch, your mother landing. And that's all it takes. You don't see her. You can't. You just feel the shake of the branch, and your whole body responds, mouth wide, throat exposed, begging. She has a worm. She has torn it into pieces, small enough for a creature the size of your body to swallow without choking. You get maybe a third of it. Your siblings get the rest. Tomorrow she will do this between 100 and 150 times, dawn until dusk, because 4 hungry throats never actually stop being hungry. Skip forward 6 days. Your eyes are open now. You have feathers, patchy, ugly, sparse feathers. Nothing like the deep orange-red chest you'll wear one day. The color that gave your entire species its name, even though you're not actually related to the birds Europeans originally called by it. You are still blind to that irony. You are still just hungry. You are also, for the first time, aware of something you didn't have language for before. Fear. A shadow crossed the nest 10 minutes ago, and every one of your siblings froze mid-motion, bodies flat, mouths shut, not one sound. You didn't know why you did it. You just did. Something in you already understands that a hawk's silhouette against the sky means stillness is the only thing standing between you and not existing anymore. The shadow passed. You didn't know that either, not really. You just felt your mother's weight settle back onto the branch outside the nest a few minutes later, and something in your chest unclenched that you didn't know was clenched. Skip forward 7 more days. You are 13 days old, and today, you are going to do something you have never done before. You are going to leave. You don't call it leaving. You don't have a word for it. What happens is, your legs feel strange, buzzy, restless, and your wings, still not fully grown, start opening and closing on their own like they belong to someone else. Your mother's on the ground below the nest now, not in it, calling up in a tone you've never heard from her, sharper, more urgent. You climb to the edge of the nest. 12 feet below you is the ground. You cannot fly. Not really. You have never flown in your life. But your body doesn't wait for permission. You step off the edge. For about a second and a half, you fall. Then something in your wings catches the air, clumsily, uselessly, but just enough. And instead of a fall, it becomes something closer to a controlled crash. You hit the ground in a bush 4 feet from the base of the tree, tumble sideways, and sit there stunned, alive, and completely unable to fly back up. This is normal. This is supposed to happen. For the next 12 to 14 days, you are what's called a fledgling, and you will spend that entire time on or near the ground, unable to really fly, hiding in bushes and under porches and behind fence posts, while your parents, both of them now, bring you food and try to keep you alive through the single most dangerous stretch of your entire life. More robins die in these 2 weeks than in almost any other period of their lives. Cats find fledglings, dogs find fledglings, cars find fledglings. You don't know any of that. You just know to freeze when the shadow comes, and to open your mouth when the branch shakes. Except now it's not a branch, it's grass, and the shake is footsteps. If you made it this far, consider subscribing for more stories about these magnificent creatures. Skip forward 3 weeks. You can fly now, really fly. Not the panicked half-glide off a nest edge, but real, deliberate, controlled flight. Wing beats you chose. You have your feathers, actual feathers, though your chest is still speckled. Not yet that solid orange-red. That comes later, after your first molt. Right now you look like a fraud wearing a robin costume that doesn't quite fit. You are on your own. Your parents have stopped feeding you. At some point in the last few days, without ceremony, without warning, They simply stopped, and you had to figure out, mostly through trial and error, that the wriggling things in soft dirt are worth pulling out, and that the red berries on that one bush are food, and that the ones on the other bush make you sick. You didn't know your own species has a name for what you're doing right now. Ornithologists call it independence, like it's a milestone, like it's supposed to feel like something. It doesn't feel like anything. It just feels like being hungry and figuring it out. Skip forward to autumn. Something is different in the air and you don't know what it is, only that it makes you restless in a way you've never felt before. The same buzzy-legged feeling you had the day you left the nest. Except now it doesn't go away after one jump to the ground. It just builds. Here's the part almost nobody knows about you. Most people think robins migrate south for winter, arrive in spring. That whole story. That's not quite true. Depending on where you were born, you might not go anywhere at all. You might spend the entire winter less than a mile from the tree you hatched in, hiding in dense evergreen thickets, going quiet, going invisible, eating berries instead of worms because the ground is frozen solid and every worm in it is out of reach. People just stop seeing you because you stop coming to lawns. They assume you left. You never left. You were just surviving somewhere they weren't looking. If you were born farther north, though, you will go somewhere. Not far, by bird standards. Robins are not champion long-distance migrants like some warblers or terns. You might travel a few hundred miles, sometimes traveling mostly at night, navigating by stars and a sense of the Earth's magnetic field that scientists still don't fully understand, folded into a brain smaller than your own eye. Skip forward to your first real spring. You're almost a year old. Your chest has come in fully now. That deep, rusted orange red that made the colonists who named you homesick for a bird back in England that looked nothing like you except for the color of its breast. You didn't ask for that name. You didn't ask for any of this. You are simply finally completely yourself. And one morning, before the sun is even fully up, you open your mouth and something comes out that you have never made before. A song. Not a call, not an alarm, a song. Layered, complex, deliberate. The kind of song that will be one of the very first sounds an entire continent hears every single morning for the rest of the season. So reliable that people will set their idea of spring itself by the sound of you. You don't know you're the first sound of spring for millions of people. You don't know any of the things you represent to a species that isn't yours. You just know that the air feels right, and your chest feels full, and somewhere out there is a nest that hasn't been built yet, in a tree you haven't picked yet, waiting for eggs that don't exist yet, a life that hasn't happened, about to start all over again, the exact same way yours did. You never planned any of this. You were never going to. You were just built to survive it, one impossible, fragile day at a time, and somehow, against every single thing stacked against a creature your size, you did.